What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, we're going to go over Module 12 in my free Facebook group on how to create momentum in your reselling business. This is super important because momentum is more important than working really hard one day. It's like telling a personal trainer that you ate a salad today that essentially doesn't do anything. That one act is not going to produce the body that you want. So with reselling, it's really important about creating a habit over time. To give you guys an idea of how powerful this is, if you were to list one $10 profit item a day all year, that's $3,650 of potential profit listed in your store. And that's really fantastic. So today I want to ask you guys 3 questions. And after you answer these 3 questions, if you want to join the group, it's at Reseller Collective on Facebook, or you can search Daily Refinement. Each one will pull it up. Answer these 3 questions. Also take the free mentorship course to basically set up your business. The first thing is everything takes longer than you think. And this is just a reality. I think it's Murphy's Law. Can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you think it's going to take an hour, you can safely multiply it by pi to get an idea of how long it really takes, because you're going to get interrupted. Maybe you have a family, and they call this the whirlwind in the Stephen Covey 7 Habits of Highly Effective People world. So what you want to get done sometimes gets interrupted. So first question is, what time of day or what time of the week are you going to set some buffer time to actually get stuff done if it doesn't get done during the week? For me, it's going to be Wednesday. So I'm setting aside all of Wednesday to catch up if I fall behind. So that means that my 5-day working goals are actually condensed into 4 days. That way, in case something happens, which it always does, on Wednesday I can catch up, or if I'm not behind on Wednesday, I want to get ahead so that Thursday and Friday are lighter days. I'd much rather reach my goals earlier in the week. People say, Chris, is it more important to list every day, or is it important to list 2 times a week? Whatever. The most important part is to list a similar amount every week. It's not about which days, more or less, because once your items go online for sale, they're there until they get sold. Trying to optimize what time of day to post is not that important. However, I will give you an example. There is a store called Shop Material World. They list 100 items a day all throughout the day, so they can cover the whole gamut. So that's 7 days a week. You can do that. I'm just saying that's an operation, and it requires systems and a team to do that. You by yourself, it's kind of unrealistic to just do the same thing every single day. Okay, second question is, what is a small momentum goal that you can create with yourself? Shout out to Katie Zilverberg. I think she's an eBay Shine Award winner or a finalist. I consider her a reseller friend. She has an excellent goal of 2 listings per day. I like this because it's very manageable and it gets the momentum going. If you knock out 2, why not just list a few more? This is like the 1 push-up goal. If you just do 1 push-up while you're down there, you might as well do more. IBM I think they made this popular because their sales team back in the day had notoriously low sales goals, but they had one of the most successful sales teams. So they're like, if we can just get our salespeople moving the right direction, they will naturally excel. But some companies give their people really high goals and it paralyzes them or makes them scared, or every single quarter they raise your quota. That can be very stressful for teams and people in general. But IBM was doing the opposite, just setting up these momentum goals. So the first question is, when are you going to set up some buffer time? Is it like 4 o'clock every day? Or is it like Wednesdays? Or is it once a month, once every 2 weeks? Second question is, what is a small momentum goal that you can make? I'm actually just going to use 1 listing for myself. 1 listing. Just I can get 1 listing done in the morning. It's going to continue on to more. Okay, the next one is momentum and consistency. This is from the beginning of the call, are more important for long-term growth than any type of short spurt. So people, especially me, set massive goals. And in fact, when I think of something, I'm like, how can we do millions? How can we do thousands? But really, you don't need that. I'm going to give an example of working out. Most people who don't work out at all, if you say, why don't you start with 1 time a week? They're like, I don't want to do that. It's not going to do anything. But that's 52 workouts a year versus 0. So it makes a huge difference if you just start. The momentum and the consistency is huge. Shout out to a former Patreon member of mine, Didi. She was really focused on momentum, just making sure that new items went into her store every day until she had daily sales. So if you consistently put stuff in your store every day, eventually you'll have daily sales if you are listing them properly. And listing them properly is covered in another one of these pods, which is titles, descriptions, pictures. And I have a really good analogy for you guys. You are describing something to somebody you don't know. That's what e-commerce is. They can't touch it, they can't feel it, they can't smell it, they've never used it before potentially. They're just, most of the things they see are from browsing or from somebody mentioning it, so they're go online looking to buy the item. You have to do the best you can to describe the item to them at a price that makes sense for them to pull the trigger. That is your goal and your mission as a reseller. Okay, so the momentum goal. This is question number 3. What is your average daily listing goal? This is important because this times 365 is your annual goal. I also made a video earlier talking about the 200 rule, which is whatever you can average in a day, you can expect that 4 times a week if you are a reseller, because oftentimes people will source 1 to 3 days a week, or they'll do online arbitrage every day. You can break it down, but the key is, what is the average daily listing goal all year? And to give yourself an idea of where you want to be. For me, it's around 30 to 40. That's what I would like to average all year. And so the 3 questions are, what time of day or week are you going to set aside as a buffer time to get things done? The second question is, what is a small momentum goal that you can set up so that you can stay on track? And then number 3 is, what is your average daily listing goal for the year? You are just a combination of your habits. So I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed with setting these massive goals. I'm actually kind of guilty of making you guys think like that. So I want to back up and just say it's more about consistency, developing a routine, staying on track. And this part of the group is going to have more accountability built in. That's something that was very powerful for people, but it was difficult for me to set up. So I have now a spreadsheet that basically tracks everything for people. So your name, and you can add in your phone number and email if you want to contact other resellers. Are you certified in reselling? And I consider that you understanding all the different steps. Do you know how to keep track of things, photographs? Do you know where to buy things? Step number 3 would be, what is your focus? What categories do you focus in? Where do you want to spend your energy? And the less categories, the better you're going to be. Rarely are people good at more than 1 to 3 categories. And even, more commonly, they're just good at 1. Then step 4 being, what does your schedule look like? Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, what does it look like? That's important. And then a couple of things you can do this week to actually reach your goals. So for me, it's about working on a virtual assistant to help me with online arbitrage of just shoes. It's also working on getting a local lister. For me to reach my goal, I need a team of around 2 to 3 people. So that needs to be my focus right now. And every time I do something that's not related to that, I am moving further away from my goal, not closer. So I don't want to get distracted. I don't want you guys to get distracted. This is the action plan to do reselling. And then also, if you join this document, I'd also like you to add in a key to success so other people can hop in and gain some value from your insights as well. So for me, it's the Learn a New Extension tool that my friend Ty made. It helps you do online arbitrage. And how that works is, I want to sell shoes for a living only, and I'm not always going to be able to find them locally. So I'm going to have to diversify my efforts on sourcing to get some of them online. Now, if you start to let your attention waver, you will not be able to do online arbitrage because there's too many items. There's 1 billion items on eBay. If you go down the rabbit hole of looking for a million different things, you will not be able to focus and you will give up on online arbitrage. This is one of the units in here that I imagine will be the most popular, which is how to hunker down and really develop an online sourcing strategy. This is important because you may not live in an area that's wealthy. You may not have access to garage sales or flea markets or Goodwill or Savers or whatever these top stores are to get inventory. You may not have local auctions, so you may not have storage units to buy. So it's important for everyone to understand at least how online arbitrage works, and those skills can translate everywhere. It's really important. Jeffrey Anderson in the group put a post up saying, what do you guys look for when you go to a local auction? Do you have a buy list ready for how much you can pay for each item? Have you pre-researched the items that are there, knowing how much you can pay for them? Do you know anybody that works there? If you start to communicate with the community of people that are doing it, you have a much better chance of coming out profitable in the end. If you know the thrift store manager, if you know the retail arbitrage staff that works there, if you go to a garage sale and it's your neighbor, all of these relationships are valuable in getting a better deal or buying it bulk. Also, on the back end, if you know other resellers, you can sell them inventory that you don't want. So since I have switched to selling only shoes, I'm starting to get people reaching out to me with different types of lots, wholesale lots for shoes. People now know my profit margin. There was a Instagram person that shot me an email and it had an inventory manifest, and very few of those items actually met my threshold. So they actually sent me a different one with all shoes that match my threshold. So once you start focusing, you can also introduce yourself and not seem like a crazy person. You can say, I sell vintage sportswear. So if you know anybody, let me know. That's what I do for a living. But if you say I sell everything online, then it kind of gives people this weird, you get this weird look from people like you're homeless and unemployed. So it's not good to give that impression to people. So I appreciate you guys' time. If you want to support this channel, all my best information is in my reseller field guide, which is the sponsor of this video. It's $35 with code YouTube. It helps me continue to make this type of content. I'm going to stay really on track now and just give my best information every single day to help you guys get in, get out, find a couple of things that will help you grow your business, and then get back to work. If you have any questions, hop on the group. You can tag me and I'll take a look at it. I appreciate everyone's time. Take care.